Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Please also share this video with your friends. Thank you for your support. Today, I read several financial news articles. I've included links to the articles in the description below. I encourage you to read the articles to support the authors and news sources. As a private American citizen, I'd like to report and share my transformative thoughts through commentary regarding small sections of these articles that are of public interest. Today, I read an article on CNBC.com written by Jessica Dickler titled, "Is the U.S. in a Silent Depression? Economists Weigh in on the Viral TikTok Theory." According to the author, one of TikTok's latest trends, coined the Silent Depression, aims to explain how key expenses such as housing, transportation, and food account for an increasing share of the average American's take-home pay. It's harder today to get by than it was during the worst economic period in this country's history, according to some TikTokers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, many Americans are struggling to pay for housing, transportation, and food. Many people haven't seen their wages keep pace with inflation in recent years. There are plenty of articles out there to substantiate this. Is it harder to get by today than it was during the Great Depression? In my opinion, heck no. Some people today don't know how good they have it. Few people today are waiting in soup lines out in the freezing cold or stuffing cardboard in their shoes because the soles are completely worn out. We haven't heard of people jumping out of Wall Street windows because they lost everything in a market crash. Many of the economists referenced in this article tend to align with my thinking. The author of this article references Brett House, a Columbia Business School economics professor who said, any notion from TikTok that life was better in 1923 than it is now is divorced from reality. The author of this article went on to indicate the unemployment rate declined to 3.7% in November, which is a far cry from the 25% unemployment rate in the 1930s. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine what life in America would be like today if we had 25% unemployment. So many people today are living paycheck to paycheck with large mortgage payments, $1,000 car payments, and mountains of credit card debt. It's so rare for people in society today to have enough emergency savings to sustain themselves if they became unemployed for an extended period of time. I've read plenty of articles about the homeless epidemic here in America in many major cities. Imagine how bad that could potentially be if we had 25% unemployment. Imagine the vacancy rates for all of the apartments that have been overbuilt in some cities in recent years. If we had 25% unemployment in America, try to picture how many home foreclosures there would be across the country, unless, of course, the government implemented some type of foreclosure moratorium. Let's all hope we never see anything as ugly as the Great Depression in our lifetimes. If something like that ever got started, who knows how bad it could get. If we saw a crash on Wall Street, we could see some big problems, not just here in America, but across the world, since we are living in a global economy. Some of you might say the Fed would ramp up QE again and prop up the markets and everything would be fine. And sure, that is a possibility. But what if they tried to do that and it didn't work? What if the Fed lost control? Imagine how rich some pharmaceutical companies would get selling antidepressant medication to those who could still afford it. Let's hope a black swan event doesn't happen in our lifetime that could result in a new Great Depression. TikTokers would wake up to the fact that life in recent years has been pretty good by comparison. What do you think about these TikTokers who believe it's harder today to get by than it was during the Great Depression? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. On the topic of a stock market crash, I read an interesting story today on Yahoo Finance put out by MoneyWise and written by Jing Pan, titled, "This U.S. economist just warned that 2024 will bring the biggest crash of our lifetime, predicts a shocking 86% nosedive for the S&P 500. Here's his number one and only place to hide." The author of this article references Harry Dent, who said, and I'll quote, "I think 2024 is going to be the biggest single crash year we'll see in our lifetimes." He went on to say this crash is not going to be a correction. It's going to be more in the 1929 to 1932 level. And anybody who sat through that would have shot their stockbroker. So how big will the crash be? That's an 86% crash in the S&P and a 92% crash in the NASDAQ. And crypto, it's going to be 96%. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I need to stop right here. If you do a quick Google search and read about Harry Dent, you will find plenty of sites that call him a perma-bear or the contrarian's contrarian. One individual says he predicted 100 of the last 2 recessions. Someone else called him the boy who cried wolf. One thing that bothers me about what he is saying in this article is that he doesn't provide any real evidence to support his claims. The author doesn't go so far as to say this, but the author did say Goldman Sachs recently raised its 2024 price target for the S&P 500 to 5,100, which is a potential upside of 7%. Here are my thoughts. If the Federal Reserve does cut rates several times in 2024, it's certainly possible the S&P could rise to that level. However, there are plenty of people who think the inverted yield curve is predicting a recession. When the 10-year falls below the 2-year, it has predicted every recession since 1955, with the exception of 1966. Even if we enter a recession, there is no evidence to suggest this could turn into a depression similar to what Harry Dent is talking about. Let's hope that we never see anything as ugly as what Harry Dent is predicting. Life as we know it in America would get very ugly, and I can't imagine what society would be like. It would probably resemble something from a post-apocalyptic sci-fi film that you see at the movie theater, but I guarantee most people wouldn't be eating popcorn. People would be eating whatever they were fortunate enough to get their hands on. I read some of the comments beneath this article, and I found some of them to be interesting. I'll share some of the comments with you. One commenter said, Harry Dent has been doomsaying for over 20 years now. The profits he missed are enormous, and his ego won't let him concede he is completely whacked out. That being said, we will someday have a major market correction, but it will have nothing to do with what Harry Dent has been trying to sell over the past 2 decades or more. Another commenter said that kind of drop would mean Armageddon, and therefore would not matter. Here's the last comment that I'll share with you. This commenter wrote, and I'll quote, I looked him up online. He got an MBA from Harvard, and he sells books. My guess, he wants you to buy his books. And he has a website. It's free to sign up, but my guess is he wants to sell you investment advice. I'll pass. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section below regarding Harry Dent's predictions. Until we experience a possible recession or depression, there are some Americans who will keep on spending with the use of buy now, pay later loans. I read an article on ZeroHedge.com written by Tyler Durden, likely a pseudonym for writers at ZeroHedge, titled Self-Checkout Kiosks at 4,500 Walmarts now offer buy now, pay later loans for basic items. According to the author, Affirm Holdings announced Tuesday that its buy now, pay later service has been expanded to self-checkout kiosks at 4,500 Walmart stores nationwide. Customers can purchase electronics, apparel, toys, and many items except groceries by spreading payments out from 3 months to 24 months. I found this to be very interesting. I am sure some customers will appreciate the convenience of having access to Affirm at self-checkout kiosks at Walmart. I just hope Walmart customers use Affirm buy now, pay later loans responsibly. I worry about people who get themselves into debt and struggle to pay it back. You might wonder how many people are really interested in these buy now, pay later loans. Well, the author sheds some light on this by quoting Affirm's SVP of Revenue, who said, recent Affirm research revealed that more than half of Americans, 54%, are looking for retailers to offer a buy now, pay later option at checkout. Moreover, we've found that 76% of consumers would either delay or not make a purchase without Affirm. I found this to be very interesting. I would have never guessed that the percentages would be this high. In my opinion, this is just a sign of the times here in America. I personally would never use buy now, pay later loans to purchase electronics, apparel, or toys. All of these items are basically worthless after you buy them. This is the type of personal property that you donate to Goodwill because you can't sell it when you are done using it. It troubles me that people are going into debt to purchase these types of items. There are likely a variety of reasons why people are using buy now, pay later loans. Somewhere out there in America, there is a single mom who wants to buy toys that her children want for Christmas, and she desperately wants to make them happy. It saddens me that someone like this will go into debt that will ultimately make her life more difficult down the road if she is unable to pay it off. My heart goes out to people like this. I have no doubt that Affirm is going to make a lot of money now that their buy now, pay later loans are being expanded to self-checkout kiosks at 4,500 Walmart stores nationwide. In my opinion, some people in the general public need an education about the risks associated with using buy now, pay later loans. There is a lot of temptation in our society to use various forms of credit. When people get straddled with too much debt, bankruptcy may be an option that they have to consider. This can have far-reaching implications in their life. I don't wish this on anyone. What do you think about access to Affirm being expanded at Walmart? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. Check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.